Eyes in the Skies, The Story of the Hubble Space Telescope by Yolanda Williams. Looking at the sky. For as long as people have lived, they have looked at the sky and wondered at the things they saw. The sun, moon, stars, and planets all seem to move in different ways. People try to explain why. Sometimes great and frightening things happened, making people wonder and worry. Throughout the centuries, people learned to track the movements carefully and to predict events in the skies. But even with all this careful study, people still had many questions. What were the planets and stars made of? How big was the universe? How old? One thing was clear. People realized that they needed another tool, something more than just their eyes, to begin to answer these questions. This picture of a comet was engraved by Dutch artist Marcus Doornik in 1664. The first telescopes. In 1608, Dutch lensmakers made the first telescope. Telescopes are important in the science of astronomy. In 1609, the Italian astronomer Galileo Galilei, from 1564 to 1642, heard about this wonderful tool and built telescopes for himself. Like the Dutch inventors, Galileo made special glass lenses. He set them in a tube in a way that caused them to magnify objects. By October 1609, Galileo had built a telescope that magnified objects 20 times. With his telescopes, Galileo saw mountains and craters on the moon, the stars of our galaxy, and 4 of Jupiter's moons. After Galileo, scientists continued to improve on the telescope. Scientists added mirrors to work in combination with lenses. Since mirrors can be made very large, they can gather and focus more light. This means that astronomers can see farther into space. As technology advanced, astronomers made better telescopes. Today, astronomers use enormous telescopes with huge computer-controlled mirrors to look into the depths of space. Best places for telescopes. Astronomers can see very far into the universe using powerful telescopes, but they cannot see as clearly as they would like to see. That is because of these 3 things. Artificial lights, especially in cities. Smoke, particles, and other kinds of air pollution. The Earth's atmosphere is made up of layers of gases. These layers distort the light coming from space. Moisture in the air, for example, bends and reflects light, making objects look blurry. To get away from these problems, astronomers have built their telescopes away from cities. They have built them on mountain tops and in deserts, where the air is thinner and cleaner. The twin Keck telescopes, for example, were built on the top of Hawaii's dormant Mauna Kea volcano. This is an excellent location. The Keck telescopes stand above most of the moisture in the Earth's atmosphere. The Keck telescopes and other telescopes in similar favorable locations on Earth are powerful tools for astronomers. But since 1990, astronomers also have had the Hubble Space Telescope. Unlike the Keck telescopes, Hubble doesn't have to look at the universe through the Earth's atmosphere. The Hubble Space Telescope floats in space high above the Earth. Space is the best possible place for a telescope. Astronauts aboard the Space Shuttle Discovery took this photo of Hubble in December 1999 after a repair mission. Hubble history. In 1957, the Soviet Union launched the first artificial satellite into orbit, and the age of space exploration began. In the following decades, people traveled into space and even to the moon. With every space mission, scientists learned more about the universe. Telescopes had gone into space, but scientists dreamed of sending a giant telescope that could gather more data. In 1975, the European Space Agency, or ESA, and the American Space Agency, National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA, began to work together to develop such a space telescope. The telescope was named the Hubble Space Telescope, in honor of the American astronomer Edwin Powell Hubble, from 1899 to 1953. Space exploration words. Words like these are used to describe space exploration. Nouns. Orbit, path around a planet or star. Research, the seeking of facts. Mission, an expedition by a spacecraft. Adjectives. Powerful, having great force. Artificial, made by humans. Hubble was designed to be repaired and improved regularly by visiting astronauts. With this maintenance, scientists estimated Hubble could last 15 years. During this time, astronomers from all over the world would be able to use the space telescope to conduct research. It took many years to build and test Hubble, but on April 24, 1990, it was finally carried into space aboard the Space Shuttle Discovery. Hubble was released by shuttle astronauts the following day and set into orbit 375 miles or 600 kilometers above the Earth. Hubble facts. Size. Hubble measures 43.5 feet long or 13.2 meters, which makes it about the size of a school bus. On Earth, Hubble would weigh 12 tons, or 11 metric tons. Orbit. Hubble circles the Earth at a very fast speed, 5 miles, or 8 kilometers per second. It completes one orbit about every 97 minutes. Position. Even though it's going so fast, Hubble can hold steady for long periods of time, while its cameras take pictures. Hubble has a pointing control system that constantly checks and corrects its position. Data collection and communication. Every day, Hubble collects about 4 gigabytes of data. That's enough information to fill up a complete set of encyclopedias. This information is transmitted by satellites to scientists on Earth. Hubble's first pictures of the galaxy M100 were fuzzy. Hubble gets glasses. Hubble has sent back the clearest images of the universe that astronomers have ever seen. But it wasn't always that way. About a month after Hubble was launched, it started sending pictures back to Earth. Hubble sent the images in radio signals. People had been waiting eagerly to see these pictures. They expected to see spectacular views of space. But when the first pictures came in, astronomers saw immediately that there was a problem. The pictures were fuzzy. They were not the sharp images everyone had expected to see. Scientists soon found the cause of the problem. One side of Hubble's primary mirror was slightly flatter than it was supposed to be. The flaw was tiny, much thinner than a human hair, but it was enough to keep the mirror from focusing the light correctly. To fix this flaw, scientists decided to put eyeglasses on Hubble. They created a set of corrective mirrors that would cancel out the defect in the primary mirror. This is how glasses work on people. Glasses correct their vision. In December 1993, a crew from the Space Shuttle Endeavour was sent to fix Hubble. First, the astronauts hauled the telescope into the shuttle's cargo bay. Then, they spent 5 days installing the mirrors and making other improvements. When they were finished, the results were spectacular. The view of the core of the galaxy M100 after the corrective mirrors were installed on Hubble. The view from Hubble. Hubble has taken pictures of galaxies close to us and of galaxies far in the universe. In October 2001, Hubble took the image below. That image is the spiral galaxy NGC 3949. This galaxy lies 50 million light-years away from us. Astronomers are interested in this galaxy because it is similar in shape and structure to the galaxy the Earth and the Sun are in. In 2002, shuttle astronauts installed a new camera and other scientific instruments on Hubble. These new instruments allowed the telescope to see even farther into space. Hubble was able to gather light that it couldn't with its old instruments. Spiral Galaxy, NGC 3949. With these new instruments, Hubble has been able to see an area in space that it couldn't see before. Scientists call this latest area seen by this telescope the Hubble Ultra Deep Field, or HUDF. It is the farthest area of the universe ever seen. The light that Hubble is picking up from that area has taken billions of years to travel to Earth. So this area of the universe is very old. The galaxies in this area have strange shapes, sizes, and colors. They are not spiral or elliptical, like the galaxies we see closer to us. This is what galaxies looked like when the universe was very young, 13 to 14 billion years ago, many scientists say. Hubble's future. Hubble's future was in danger when it was taking images of the oldest galaxies in the universe. Shuttle missions to service the space telescope had been canceled. These missions were considered too dangerous for astronauts. It seemed that Hubble would be left to slowly fall apart in its orbit above Earth. But astronomers all over the world were not ready to give up so easily. By September 2004, a plan was being formed to have robots do the maintenance work that astronauts have been doing. This would extend Hubble's life until 2010. At that time, a new space telescope, equipped with the most modern instruments, is expected to be launched. The whole strange, beautiful universe waits for these telescope eyes. Can you imagine the things this new space telescope will see? Photo of the Hubble telescope, taken from the Space Shuttle Endeavour. Talk about it. 1. How would you describe astronomers and the work that they do? 2. Why was the Hubble Space Telescope invented? Write about it. 3. On a separate sheet of paper, make a timeline listing events in the development of the space telescope. Extend language. The word part tele means far away or from a distance. A telescope lets you see things that are far away. Why do the words telephone and television begin with tele?